Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Down to Rough Podcast. Join with JT. We're here to talk about, you know, what we saw Sunday from that Patriots game. Should we let's do some positives, I
There were some
guess.
positives. I mean, listen, if that last play doesn't, I mean, if that last drive by the Raiders doesn't happen, and that the touchdown that should not have counted doesn't count, we're in the playoff picture, and we'd be pretty. We wouldn't be happy, but we'd be decently positive today, being like, there were signs of life. Defense looks elite. Run game looks elite. Mac still looks pretty average. Receivers look pretty average. So, don't love to see that, but there's there's stuff to build off of, which I think is important. But nope, the end of that game totally soiled the whole mood. I I have no words.
So, what I would say though is like, yeah, the defense was a positive, but it always has been, right? Like it's always been great. I guess, you know,
I mean, but we
I
were shutting down. We were shutting down Devontae Adams. Like
which
that was like,
that's the one thing I want to say. The two surprises, I think I'm going to call them surprises, is like, we didn't have Jack Jones or Jalen Mills, and Devontae was held to 4 receptions, 28 yards. Love to see that. That was impressive. And honestly, like, this is the second week. The rookie running backs look pretty solid.
100%
And,
strong.
obviously, Ramondre's really good, but you know what I'm saying? It's like the
Yeah.
defense in Ramondre, we knew that. So, like, seeing it again isn't exactly like impressive or anything.
Mhm. I mean,
I thought a good Johnu day was coming and a Tyquan Thornton day because they made some nice plays and then nothing.
they shined a little bit, and then it was just like they got quiet. And I feel like Johnny just gets double teamed now, so it's all on Josh Uche, who's just eating every week because
Mm-hmm.
he's the one that's like, by the way, he looks incredible. I was watching some of those sacks he was getting. He is bending around that tackle every single time.
Uche's the best pass rusher on the team. And even Judon
I'd
said it.
say, I'd say, I mean, absolutely. He looks very talented.
He only got half a sack yesterday, but he was constantly putting pressure on. And Derek Carr, as we see, cannot deal with pressure. And there were a lot of like throwaways. That was very helpful. Um,
That last drive was so frustrating where they just marched down the field. I was like, what?
so I first want to say that I don't understand how that's a touchdown.
I've seen so many pictures today. There's one specific picture where it's like from the left corner of the end zone, looking at the receiver and his foot down on the ground. And people are looking at the picture being like, oh, the white on his shoe is his foot. Like that's not touching the white on the line. What you're missing is that his shoe is black, which matches the color of the ground, which is touching the white line. I'm
I,
just like, are we kidding?
I don't think it's that hard to see his toes on the line, man. I'm sorry. I just don't. And another thing that's frustrating is the reason there's no pylon cam is because it's not a primetime game.
Which is like,
That makes no sense.
why? How are we still having these problems in 2020? Is it three? No, we're almost 2023. How
Almost
are we having
2020.
these problems?
It doesn't make sense to only have, the pylon cam in a primetime game because that's a game that literally could have been decided if you have it there, right? Which it wasn't needed. It wasn't even needed. Okay. But another interesting thing I saw, I don't know if I sent it to you, the official like NFL ref like
Yes, you did send this to me.
Instagram page or something. They follow every NFL team but the Patriots, which
Just
I don't try to overread that stuff, but it's just like
uh,
why?
it's just so like it's just so disrespectful, honestly. Like, and I don't, dude, I don't know. Like, that's a brand new stadium too, by the way. How do we not have a million camera angles in that stadium? Brand new. They have 8K cameras in there, but we cannot find a single angle besides the three that they showed us on TV. Three angles, and they're
Like
like, all
it's
right, it's a
so
touchdown.
obvious, man.
Bro, from the one behind, like way up in the air, like it's like from the behind the end zone, it looks clear that he's stepping on the line. They review it for like 10 minutes, and then they're like, all right, there was nothing to overturn. Oh,
So
What are you
my
talking
I have
about?
like three things. One is it's frustrating that refs have heavily impacted two of our games because of
Not just
touchdown
us either.
calls.
So many games
That's
are getting
true.
heavily impacted by
Sunday
refs.
was a big day for the referees.
Yeah. The,
But
the Titans, or not the Titans, the Titans game was whack too, but I was going to say the Texans were leading on the Chiefs. I didn't
yep,
even watch it, but I was just like, what is happening today? Like, what is going on?
crazy. The other thing is the same thing happened with the Hunter Henry touchdown where the announcers were playing into that it makes sense for it to not. And when they do that,
Yeah.
because I'm watching like, oh, he's out of bounds, sweet. And then the announcers are starting to be like, well, I don't know, it's kind of tough to tell. And I'm just like texting everyone like they're gonna call this a touchdown, and it makes no sense. Um,
I
and
just don't, I did not see like the part where they were like, nah, he's definitely in. He's not touching the white line. Like, he's clearly touching the white line. How are we talking about it? Like, he's like fully got 2 feet in. Like, by the way, corner's arm is fully in between his arm and the ball. So
yep,
how does he have control off of the
yeah,
two
they didn't
single
want to look at
steps he
that.
took? How is that control either? Like, I was like, what are, oh, it was just so frustrating. And then the way the game ended, I was just in disbelief.
Okay, so
What?
there's three directions we can go. One is to talk about coaching.
That's a good conversation.
Another is about Mac, and another is about that final play. I don't
I
know which
like
one
it.
we should start with.
We start with coaching because that
Okay,
affected Mac heavily.
well, I have a Belichick thing,
Oh God. People are
and
calling for his job. Are you one of those people?
so yes and no. Okay, as a Patriots fan growing up, I do not have it in me to be like fire him. I can't do that. But I feel like it's ignorant to be like he's not the coach for the team, if that makes sense. Like he isn't a coach of this generation of NFL, I think. There are still things that he does coaching wise that don't make sense. And there's things GM wise that don't make sense in today's league, right? I think he's still drafting and making roster selections as if he has Tom Brady as the quarterback, because a simple one to me is like there are a lot of picks that he made in the Brady era that were like character over skill and talent, right?
Yeah.
You can get away with that when you have Brady because he can elevate the talent to somewhere you need. We don't have that. So, for example, passing on George Pickens because of his character isn't the best move when you don't have an elite quarterback.
Although I will say he's still getting in fights over in Pittsburgh. Like, it's not, the character thing was an issue. Like, he's still having, he's out there calling out his team, being like, I only got 2 targets today. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, if he said that on the Pats, he's not playing for a month. Like,
That's fair. That's fair.
maybe not
Um,
now though. I mean, Mac's out there now, like, getting mad at people.
and they're
So
letting him. And
rightfully so.
I guess you can also look at it as, I mean, Bourne had his issues after the Buffalo game, and we were told, or there were reports that he isn't playing another snap after that, and he's out there. He's dropping passes, but he's out there. So I just think in today's NFL, he's not a great head coach. But I don't have the, I'm not saying fire him. I think that's just crazy to do. I think there's certain grace period you need to give people based on past success, right?
All right. Ready? Here's what I think. Now, if you like post Brady, obviously, like, the problem is that we're basically judging him right now as, like, he's without Brady, but he's been doing a total rebuild from day one. Like, he had Cam Newton for a year, then he got a rookie. Now he's
Yep.
got a rookie in his second year. The big problem this year was that he decided that, oh, I'm just going to bring back two former head coaches or two former like coaches of mine, and they're just going to coach the offense. Like, it's just going to work. That, I think, was one of the things where I'm like, all right, wait, you are too cocky.
Mm-hmm.
You are not the guy you think you are. They are not the people you think that they are. So that I will give. He gets 100% fault. That stupid move. Other than those like that decision really this year, I have no issue. Like I'd love to see him come back, have a real offensive coordinator, really like build around Mac for finally in his third year, really build around him. Don't know why we're waiting till this year to do it, but fuck it, I guess. Like
Um, I will say one coaching thing that I think you'll agree with me that pisses you off, but I'm not trying to say like the success of the team is necessarily his fault. I think he's overachieved with all the teams. I'm not going to be here and be like, oh, Brady's clearly more important because it's like, dude, first year without Brady, he had 60% of the cap was dead cap.
garbage team, terrible team, and
had a shot at the playoffs, kind of.
Yeah, like what are we talking about? That team was terrible.
So that
how was he supposed to win?
That was his best coaching period.
And COVID year, by the way, had people dropping out, didn't want to play. Like,
Tim, who was on last podcast, I think made a good point because he is on the fire him train. And here is what he says. He says, if there was a way to make him not the GM and keep him as the coach, I would do that. That would be perfect. But I understand that's not possible, which means you would have to fire him because he just thinks him as a GM is so bad.
I don't love all of his GM moves, but I do like, I mean, I just wish he would stop taking control of the receivers and let someone else like figure that out.
Yeah.
Well, like, if we're talking defense, like Jabril Peppers, like Adrian Phillips, those are two core people on our team that I mean, don't get me wrong, Adrian Phillips is kind of suspect last game.
They've kind of been a little rough these last few games.
I mean, but still,
Peppers missed a block for a blocked punt.
Hey, that Duggar pick six though.
So what I want to say with the Belichick GM thing is, I think he's better than people think as a GM. I mean, these last 3 drafts have been pretty great.
I think it just looks suspect, like at first. But if you look into it deeper, like the players themselves are actually like he's getting more effort and like skill than he's paying for those players. Now, there's obviously outliers like Aguilar, he sucks. Our tight ends were paying like 10 mil.
Which that's another thing I just can't stand is how they use the tight ends. But
it's like we get them involved for a play, and then it's like, all right, now you guys are just going to block for the rest of the night. Don't worry about catching any footballs. Like, that's not what you do. So,
yeah. I think lately Belichick's been fine. I think there's a lot of animosity for him picking N'Keal Harry, which was a bad pick. Let's not defend him. Just in every way, it was a terrible pick. It was him being too cocky and not listening to his whole entire staff besides him saying, take AJ Brown, which would have been fantastic.
Tyquan Thornton in his rookie year has achieved more as a Patriot than N'Keal Harry did in 4.
Yeah, and Tyquan Thornton gets like 1 pass a game.
1 pass a game. That's all he needs to be successful. He's just a rookie. Like, we're not playing him.
Yeah.
He actually played a lot of snaps. I noticed him playing a lot of snaps when Devontae Parker was out.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Bourne on the sideline and I saw Tyquan Thornton in the game. I was like,
there's truly no point playing Bourne because he's not a part of our future because they kind of ruined him.
I mean, but no, then we play him and then he just drops passes.
No, I know, but I also have to say, similar to what they did to Mac, it's a mental thing where it's like, he's in his own head now being like, I was thinking I was going to be the wide receiver 1 this year. And I did. I don't remember what he did to lose snaps. Was he late to a practice?
It was the late thing. And then Patricia was mad at him and
effort level or something.
This is why everybody's mad at Bill. It's because Patricia, like he screwed up making the offense this year.
Yes.
He should have brought someone in. And regardless if you had to pay them or not, he's so cheap. That's the other thing I hate about Bill. He's so freaking cheap. He just wants to always get the lowest option. And obviously this year it was like, hey, the Lions are paying Patricia. Joe Judge is getting paid by the Giants. Come on over. Neither of you are going to have any like kind of status as a name. You're just going to coach.
Here's what it was. It was he had a bunch of coaches leave, and he was like, I'm sick of coaches leaving me. So I'm going to get 2 guys who will stick by me through everything because they've had their head coaching chances and they're going to need to work hard to try to get another one if they really want it.
But they already left.
He got 2 guys that will have to do a lot to get another coaching opportunity. They also suck and are terrible. Joe Judge, honestly, like he can go back to special teams. He was good at special teams.
And we
I
had a
don't
block
need
punt
him,
last night. A block punt.
which he was not. I mean, he's not special teams. I'm saying
I
maybe
know.
that
I was
changed.
just saying,
Yeah,
that I think that was just a miscue by the punter because we don't have our punter in there.
I think it
Listen,
was Peppers just
well, no,
didn't
Peppers was
block the
talking
dude.
like because trying to like talk through what the defense was doing, and then they just snapped the punt. It was like, okay, the punter is calling for the punt. Why can't you just wait a second until he's settled?
I don't know.
And that was
Um,
bad because then they scored immediately after that, and it was like, wow.
but here's my Bill Belichick coaching rant that I think you agree with. And this is something he's done since the start of the Pats dynasty, which is my whole issue of he doesn't exactly adapt, which is getting frustrating and why I'm like, I don't think he's the coach for this generation. Prevent has never worked.
Who? What?
The prevent defense. We were playing like prevent essentially on that final drive. They would do like 15 yards on the sideline, and Marcus Jones is giving him 10 yards of space,
Yeah.
not even challenging it. He's not getting burnt. That's the plan.
Yeah, we were getting chunked that whole last drive. It was bad.
We had them to 17, and one of the touchdowns was because of a blocked punt, essentially.
Which was on the 20.
Right. And so the defense was fantastic. There was no need to change anything.
No.
So I just there's been multiple games he's done that. He did it in that Steelers game that we almost lost.
I don't get why. Like, why not just have like two high safeties and let everybody play man? Like, who cares? Like, you
There's a
get
time and a place for prevent, and it's when you're up like 3 scores and there's 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Not when it's like a tie game and they're trying to, like I just
yeah,
don't
it is weird.
understand. And that it drives me insane.
Like, especially since we were covering so well all night. Like, why are we giving them space now? Like, let's like the one thing we've been bad at this year is when people are in space,
Yeah.
they create more yards. Like our yak numbers are terrible. I'm sure. I haven't looked, but
Yeah.
that was one thing I've definitely noticed, especially with the corners. Like, we're not the best tacklers, but we can stop you from catching the ball. So we should be stopping him from catching the ball versus like trying to get him in the open field. Like,
Yeah.
it's just frustrating.
Because the defense is good.
Oh, they're so good.
And it's frustrating when they have a chance to win the game and you're almost like taking it away from them.
Especially when Derek Carr immediately has an out now. Like when we're rushing the passer, we can get him in 4 seconds.
Yeah.
But if he's got an open outlet in 2 and he's taking it, like
For
they're gonna
15 yards,
yeah,
because
like
you're
what kind of defense is that? Like that's terrible.
yeah, like the Pats have never been good at doing like a soft zone. Like it's just never they're best at when they're in man. But
Do you want to talk about the
let's talk about the last play.
yeah, let's talk about the play. By the way, I hate that everybody's calling it the worst play. Like it's not like that was the play design. It's just
So
one person's mistake
couple
ruined
things.
everything.
On a positive note, I'm glad that like every player involved took blame like it was their fault.
Mac, Ramondre,
Jacoby, they all took blame
dude,
saying
Mac looks so soft not tackling that guy.
that's a bad look. It reminded me of
So soft.
like look,
Dude, I would
is
tackle
it was that
got his
just do
hand
what
up
you
there.
did to Brian Burns, honestly. Just
Dude.
do what you did to Brian Burns.
Dude, he's catching the ball like this. Why are you not cleaning him out? He's literally Max standing there like, oh, I'm gonna tackle him. Which way is he gonna go? Why are your feet planted? Go at him. He's not moving. He's trying to catch the ball.
Yeah.
And then you let him move and you're getting steamrolled by him 10
I do
times.
think his thought also was, let's say like he does break up like the pass, like the ball's still live. Like so I think his thought was my best chance is to go low and tackle him. I mean, he was put in a tough situation. I'm not gonna lie. I just need a better effort on the tackle.
Yeah.
Like literally Brian Burns, I'm like, you've already done, and just grab his ankle for dear life until someone who might have a chance to tackle.
Henry wasn't too far behind at the end of the play. Like he
just needed to be slowed down, and he wasn't slowed down.
Got stiff armed into the fucking
Got
dirt.
sped up, dude. Yeah, I mean, part of it to me has to be coaching though. I mean, are you not saying like
If you
no
think Bill's not,
laterals, just
I
go
mean,
like I don't know.
that they all said that the plan was to just run out the clock, go down, like try to see if there's something opens, and then just go down. That was what Ramondre said. Ramondre was like, I never should have lateraled it. Like that was my bad. The plan was to just go out there, go into OT.
I do want to say it was like a safe lateral. I
No,
know
his was fine. His was
I
totally
was not mad.
Jacoby.
I understand you shouldn't do anything. I understand that. At the same time, I saw what he saw. He was like, I'm at the 20. I have a safe lateral here, and it looks like he had one guy to beat. And the Raiders did a good job closing on it, so he had nothing, right?
Hmm.
It was Jacoby where, unless it's a do or die thing, you should never be lateraling it more than like 2 yards.
Yeah, like Ramondre's was perfect. And then he's like, all right,
He threw a
30,
bomb
30
to
yards on the move across my
best pass
body.
of the game for the Patriots. But
I don't know. Mac had an absolute dot over the middle.
so my other thing, and this is my biggest thing. Let's say Mac catches it. Now what?
Getting murdered.
There's no one behind him, and it's Mac Jones having to run 60 yards.
Murdered.
Like, that's my big thing. It's like, even if he catches it, nothing's happening.
It was probably just like a heat of the moment thing. Jacoby was like, "Oh, I see him. He's open." And then he throws it and he's like, "Oh wow, I really
It is funny that
really
Chandler Jones was just like chilling back there. Like, oh, they got it.
bro, I watched back the play. He literally gets stiff-armed into the dirt by Ramondre, doesn't get up, is literally just next to Mac, like hanging out because he was getting up off the ground, sees the plays coming back, gets a little active, and is like, "Oh, like I have a chance here." And then Jacoby throws it right to him. He doesn't move.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're Jacoby. I'm convinced Jacoby had the Raiders money line or something.
It might have been a draft pick thing. I don't know.
Dude,
That is one of those plays, though. I'm sorry, where I'm like,
it looked horrible.
yeah.
But
Um,
I'm already over like everybody today is like, it's the worst play in NFL history. Like I could name so many more plays that look so much worse than that. Like
I also think you got to
the
look
butt
at,
fumble. Butt fumble is one of them.
yeah,
Um
the punt fumble, the punt
the
butt fumble
the,
that
the
happened
butt
this year. The
dude,
Orlovsky
dude, Orlovsky, what was
and Garoppolo.
the Colts thing? The Colts thing where they would
Oh
do
yeah.
like what are we talking about? This is not the worst play.
I
That was
also think
bad lateral.
significance has something to do with it. Like neither of these teams
We don't we're
are,
not
are like
competitive.
going anywhere. I mean, we are competitive, I guess, when you look at it 7-7, but it's more just like not going anywhere.
Now hear me out, John.
Yeah.
Like, had we won this game, I would have been like, all right, I'm all aboard like the hype train. We're going to playoffs. Maybe, you never know. Like defense wins championships, you never know. Now I'm looking at this. We're 7-7 playing the Bengals next week. I'd like us to lose all of the games we have on our schedule remaining and see what kind of draft pick we can get.
So I talked to my brother before the Cardinals game, and I told him straight up, I was like, this team isn't going anywhere. As a fan, I want to just lose out because 6-11, you're getting a decent pick. And he was saying, like, that's stupid. That's being a bad fan. Like,
So,
blah, blah, blah. You want something to look forward to. And I'm like, I kind of know the only things I'm looking forward to. And for me, that was, you know,
player development.
I know Ramondre's nasty.
He's 9 yards a carry, by the way, last night.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
And he was playing hurt too. I mean,
He didn't even play snaps in the beginning of the like our run game is unbelievable, but then I'm just like our pass game
yeah.
is horrendous.
Point is, as a Pats fan, I was like, I know what I can build around as far as making a winning team.
Yeah,
And it's unfortunately not a lot. So it's like, why not? And like when you look at like draft picks, I understand maybe it's only 3 spots, like if you lose a game or something, but it's like that could be the difference from like Micah Parsons and Jalen Rager if you like lost that, like as far as draft position, right?
Yeah, like Jalen Rager, like not was it Justin Jefferson who went after him?
Jefferson went after Rager, but
How
I'm
did
saying like
wait, didn't we pick before the
no, we didn't. We didn't.
okay, I was
Our
gonna say if we had a chance, I would have been
the
pissed.
better options, which there's a lot because the wide receiver draft is stacked, was be AJ Brown, Debo Samuel, DK Metcalf, Terry McLaurin. Those guys.
Did you see that Terry penalty last night? Sorry, I'm off topic,
It
but
was
that was
ridiculous.
so dumb.
It was just a sketchy.
Again, refs affecting games. They literally scored a touchdown. It gets called back and they lose the game.
So sketchy. But
Did we talk about max development? I don't think we
so
talked
that's
about
what we need to talk about. That's kind of our final thing. But yeah, I'm with you. Like because you're going against Bengals, Bills, Dolphins, and really your only chance is if you steal one of the Bengals and Bills
like we have
and
a chance.
you beat the Dolphins. Like there is a chance, but at the same time, you also need to hope like
The Dolphins keep losing.
the Ravens don't win as well.
I think the only way we make playoffs is if somehow the Dolphins can lose again. We beat the Bengals.
And
We
Dolphins.
basically need the Dolphins to lose twice in the next 3 games. So if that happens, which it very well could, because the Dolphins don't play good in cold weather, and they're going to have to play us in the cold. And I'm assuming there's got to be one more team they play that's like going to be not fair weather for them. So we'll see.
Maybe hope the Bills don't try the last game, which could be possible.
I mean, they're
I
definitely
mean, if you're the Bills, would you rather play us or the Chargers in the first round?
definitely us.
So there's a good shot. There's actually a decent shot when you think about that final game. They just rest guys.
Then we'd probably win that game if they're
It is
resting.
in Buffalo, though.
I mean, if they're resting people, I don't care.
Fair. But okay, so Mac, we talked a little bit. You're a lot higher on him. I've kind of had it. I'm gonna be honest with you. So, do you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
Yeah, I can go first. I mean, listen, like obviously we want to see him do good this year, but like we have just built the worst supporting cast around a quarterback probably since like I don't even know coaching staff and or not like offensive weapons. I mean like
Okay,
coaching,
you mean coaching?
like
Okay,
supporting
okay, okay.
supporting staff. Like they're the supporters.
I was
Like
gonna say, I'm like, weren't you on my side that he has plenty of
no.
weapons?
I like the weapons. Like I mean like not Aguilar is probably my least favorite, but then like we go down the list and it's like wow, I really like these weapons. I think he's developing now as he should be. He's kind of learning what's kind of like, good and bad for him. He last night was a little inaccurate, but he was clearly trying to like get some velocity on the ball, like trying to flick it out fast. Obviously, he's missing a lot of throws because of that, but you know, that's what you want to see from like that's what Tom Brady was doing. He's getting the ball out quickly. The ball's got velocity on it. It's getting to the target and it's done. He missed a couple like that, but then there was this one play. It was one of the biggest chunk plays we had of the night. It was right before the Ramondre touchdown. Matt gets Jacoby Myers for like 30 yards over the middle, and it was an absolute dot. Threw it so far, like perfect spiral. Like it was just beautiful. And that's what I've been waiting to see from him too, throwing more deep balls, being accurate with it. So I don't know. I think next year if we can get a real offensive coordinator, someone he can like actually talk to and bond with and not scream at during a game. That's the problem for me right now is that when you're yelling at the coaches during the game because they can't get the play call out fast enough and they're subbing still, like it's ridiculous how many times we've had to call timeouts when the play clock is down or we get a delay of game because the play clock runs out. So we'll see. I think there's just too many things happening for us to be like, Mac is not the one right now.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm honestly for like Dan Orlovsky. I know
Coach,
he's spoken a lot about how he would only do coaching if it was like for Mac Jones because he thinks he's getting screwed and that he can help him be the best version of himself and
I
stuff
would
like that. And I think it's similar. That reminds me of basically Mike McDaniel with Tua. where he was like, right now, no one believes in this guy, and I need to show him I do. And he sits down and watches the highlight tape of him and say what you want about Tua.
Who was
Narrative on
off?
him has completely changed from this year to last year. Last year was you can't win with Tua. You know, now
You're more convinced.
he's he not anymore, but there were times he was an MVP candidate. Before the concussion, he was looking real good.
It was the receivers though. That's the big change.
I understand, but it's also,
Yeah.
I think, so much about sports is mentality, and you need to believe you're the best. And sometimes you're in shitty situations where you just don't believe you're the best. Um, so I think there just has to be a change for Mac, and I agree with that. The thing that worried me, you know, he's the velocity's there in the middle of the field. And I definitely noticed an increase in it. I also don't think it was too slow. I don't think the ball speed was bad middle of the field. It's still slow as hell on the sidelines, and I'm always terrified when he throws to the sidelines. I just fear it's going to be a pick six because
Mhm.
it is not going fast at all.
Yeah.
There was that one throw he threw to the flat in the sideline, and thank God it was inaccurate because it would have been a pick six. um, so I don't envision that ever changing. Um, I'm also looking at
Think about how many screens he throws though. Like why? Like
no, but here's my thing. Last night I noticed there were times they let him throw it,
I did see that. I
and
did know.
he couldn't throw it accurately. And it was almost like the coaches showing to the fans, this is why we don't have him throw, because he can't. This is why we do screens all the time. That's what it felt like to me.
A lot of them were close though. Like there were so many that would just be like just a touch too high or
But
like those are like so close to becoming like actual meaningful plays in the game. So like why would you not want to keep repeating that
no,
until it's
I you have
perfect?
to do it. I think the screens
Oh,
have to stop. But I'm saying,
100%.
to me, that's what it seemed like with the coaching, because it
Yeah.
seemed like they did
I see
it.
what you're saying.
It seemed
Yes.
like they did it, and then once he was making bad throws, they stopped to be like, yeah, this is why we don't do that. Because there's frustrating stuff where Myers on the seam route, where if he just hits him, Myers is good 60 yards at least. I know he's not the fastest, so I'm not saying he's getting a touchdown, but
He did catch that ball like 35 yards out and he immediately got caught though. And I was just like, damn, that could have been sick.
yeah.
Because
Um,
Max stats yesterday were horrible.
Horrible. And another thing that's important to say, JT, is no issue with the O line. There was no sacks.
Nope. Hey,
Um,
Trent Brown and that I don't know who's playing right tackle, but he I saw him working I forget the white guy's name.
what's he,
I
McDermott?
no, the pass rusher.
Oh, Crosby.
Crosby, he was working Crosby some of those times. I was very impressed. I don't know his name. He's not some like highly touted lineman. He's not a free agent. I think
Our
he's
other tackle, you're saying?
yeah, the right tackle.
Is it Kajust? Did he play?
Oh, he's not even playing.
So is McDermott.
Oh, you were saying McDermott
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
oh, I thought you were saying he's
Because
the
he's white too. So that's what I
yeah.
thought you were.
Yeah, no, you're right. It is McDermott, I think. But that's
And
like
Cole Strange did well too. The O line was not the issue,
Cole Strange
right?
did get a penalty though, and the false
He
start
did
penalty.
get the one penalty. But in general, I mean, you have to expect an O line's going to give up at least 2 sacks and maybe a false start, especially on
Well,
the road. And
they protected him.
yeah, so it's just frustrating to see they let him do what we've all wanted to see, and there was no pressure at all for him, and he was not good. And
I mean, but think about how much the game could have changed. Like, even if something as simple, John, as like the first red zone drive we have. Like, say none of that stupid stuff happens, and we just score a touchdown. Like we don't call the timeout. Jacoby touchdown. Boom.
yeah,
It's now 7-3. Beginning of the game.
yeah,
Matt could have actually played really well in that game, but he probably he got his confidence hurt in the beginning of the game because it was like, all right, I just threw a touchdown. You called a timeout. Now I have to do it again. Now we get out there, false start. Now we get out there. All right, I would take a timeout.
yeah. So
What are we doing?
he did get in his head, but that's also not what you want to see from your leader, your quarterback, right?
No, not at all. But like
I
again,
guess
comes back to the coaching. Like I think it's just a coaching problem.
the thing that's a bigger issue to me than like the missed throws, honestly, is this whole time I think we all felt Mac is a smart QB and he can manage an offense and things like that. And to see all the delay of games
Yeah.
and that QB sneak touchdown is him not going too soon. You need to let Johnu get set. That's kind of
Yeah.
on the QB, right?
No,
It
that was on him.
if it
But
was like
on both of
the
them.
yeah, it is on both of them, but I'm gonna blame him more. I mean, there was no need to rush a QB sneak. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
Um,
almost curious if like the play call was a pass play and then he gets up to it and he realized he was like, oh my God, like there's a gaping hole in the middle. I am going right over this line.
could have been.
So that was my
Um,
thought. Because John, who looks like he's going for a pass. Like he lined up, he was taking his time, like making sure he was set.
right.
So unfortunate. I felt like the beginning of the game really like as soon as that happened, I just knew there was some horrendous, heinous actions that were going to take place in that game. And I just
When they
didn't
called that a touchdown, I knew we were gonna lose
I I was so
because the spread was the Raiders by half a point. So when they called that a touchdown,
we're like, that's game.
I'm like, yeah, that spread's going to the Raiders. And it was very frustrating because I knew it. And I did not think it would happen like that. But um
Like what a
another
game. Like I could not like I can't even imagine what Bill is thinking after these games that we're having. Because like there was a like the amount of ridiculous, like once in a lifetime kind of stuff that happened in that game was like every quarter there was something that was like this will never happen again. But it happened in this game and it happened a lot. Like it's truly mind blowing what the Patriots are able to do right now.
yeah, it feels tough because it's 7-7, which I think a lot of teams would be like, yo, my team's 500. That's great.
What terrible.
Doesn't it feel like we should be like 10-4
Yes.
if we just played like I think this one should have been a win. I think Minnesota should
Baltimore.
definitely have been a win. Baltimore, you could argue. Chicago's the big one.
Yep.
At home Monday night prime time, you just don't show up.
Even the Dolphins game. What are we
Even the
talking about? They
Dolphins
scored
game.
one touchdown and it was off of a play before halftime.
Yeah. Now,
That's why I'm really curious to see like if we can actually win this week versus the Bengals. This is probably what Bill's saying right now. Like Bill's probably like, guys, I know we just lost that. That was horrendous.
we're on to Cincinnati.
We're on to Cincinnati, and if we beat this team, we actually could be playoff bound because then after that, you play the Dolphins at home. That's you'd like to think that'd be a W. In Bill's head, he's probably like, I am so sick and tired of losing to this team. That quarterback sucks. Mac, you are the shit.
I mean, you
Let's
hope that's what he's thinking. You hope that's the energy he has, right?
I
I
I
don't
can't
know.
imagine he's like what like I couldn't see he's been leading men for over like his entire life. He's been leading straight up men. So how is he not in that locker room just getting people amped up constantly? It's
Uh,
probably hard when you're losing games like this though that to be like excited all the time. Like, we're 7-7, let's go.
I mean, how do you think Mac feels when Belichick says he can't throw a 55-yard pass?
I mean, listen,
Do you believe that?
not accurately. He might be able to put it in an area.
Okay, but it's a Hail Mary. Like
Yeah.
you can't expect right? Like you can't expect it to go perfectly.
I
Like
think I think Bill's point is that it's less about like Mac being able to do it, and it's just such a low percentage play that it's like,
but that's a better way to answer it.
I
Just
mean,
be like, I didn't feel like it was a
Bill
high
doesn't
success
care. Bill
play.
doesn't care about feelings. You don't think he doesn't care?
Well, I think maybe he should after his QB sucked and has already had confidence issues because of shit they've done and how the fans have reacted.
God, like what this offseason might be wild, and I'm not ready.
It might be wild. It
Like
might be really
first,
wild in a lot of ways.
like Tom could come back.
Tom could come back.
What if we could trade Mac?
And I would be for that. Don't care.
What pick would you want? Well, I mean, honestly, if I'm Bill, I'd be like, listen, you're giving me a first for Mac, minimum.
I mean, it has to be a first. He's shown plenty.
A
He's
team will give us
in
a
the
first.
third year of his rookie deal. I think
I don't want to get rid of him. Like there has to be more to what we see so far, because it's been like we've seen good things, and then it's like a whole bunch of stupid stuff surrounding him that it's like, all right, like, this makes him look bad.
I
And
would
he's also
rather.
doing stupid stuff. So
Here's what I'm
that's
saying. As a Patriots fan, I would rather get out early because I don't see a world where he is a Super Bowl quarterback. I could see a world where, maybe he makes 2 or 3 more Pro Bowls and is a top 15, maybe lower end of top 10, but I don't see a world where he can lead us to a Super Bowl. So I would rather get out now just in case this regression is real.
I have an idea.
That is my point.
And you're gonna love this idea, actually.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson wants buku bucks for a contract. Also hurt right now. The Ravens, very worried about Lamar getting hurt, will not pay him buku bucks.
Right.
The Patriots, lots of cap space this offseason.
And we have an actual team.
We will trade Mac Jones
for Kyle Hamilton.
Why the hell are you still talking about Kyle Hamilton?
Dude, he's nasty.
But listen, honestly, like this is one of the more realistic trades.
No, I hear what you're saying.
That we could do, like we could pay Lamar, and we already know Bill is like Lamar is like peak athleticism. Why would he not want that?
And then we get D-Hop.
If we got D-Hop, I would freak out.
That was just straight tampering the NFL released.
Dude, I mean, we did it with Hunter Henry. Like, he was literally talking to him after the game. He was like,
yeah, I know. When stuff like that happens, dude, I'm sorry. Like,
bet on it now. Just bet on it. It's gonna happen.
I would.
This isn't the first time. We tried to trade for Hopkins when he left Houston too.
Here's what I'd say. Love that idea. I'm just not even gonna acknowledge it just because that would get me too excited. And when it doesn't happen, I cry. So
when the Ravens extend him to like a $55 million deal per year,
I'd be sad. Something I want to bring up to end on, and this is an idea that has kind of inspired me based on what the Eagles are doing right now, is almost, and some may say this is slander on Jalen Hurts, and it's not meant to be. It's just how much does QB matter? Is it better to just have a stacked team around him and a mobile quarterback who can make plays happen when it goes wrong? Because I'm sorry, I know right now he's the MVP probably, which I would disagree with, but I'm cool if you want to say he is. He's not the most accurate quarterback. He misses dudes. Like, he does.
He's also got some dudes out there.
He's got some dudes. He's got AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. When Goddard was playing.
I'd say Devontae Smith is just a Tyquan Thornton clone, but
All right, but when AJ Brown's next to you.
Yeah, I mean, dude, this is why I kind of want D-Hop. Unfortunately, D-Hop's getting old and he's slow. Like, I didn't realize how slow D-Hop was, so I was watching that game when we played the Cardinals. I was like, damn. We could put any corner on him. Like, he's not dusting anybody.
Yeah.
Which is not something we need because we already have separation issues. So if I'm already worried about separation, I don't know if D-Hop is going to be the answer. Obviously, because realistically, D-Hop is just an upgrade over Devontae Parker. So, what?
Pretty substantial upgrade, I would say.
Oh, I'd agree. But, like, how much does that actually change the offense? I do think Devontae Parker is really good, but
I think if you're to get a wide receiver one on the team, he has to have elite speed in this generation of football.
And I don't know where you're getting that right now.
You are not getting that anywhere unless you think Tyquan Thornton can do that. And based on how you use him and how you're developing him, there is no shot he's being that.
Not at least for a couple of years.
But my point with the Hurts thing is the Eagles roster, not even looking at Hurts, is just stacked.
Oh.
The O-line is decked out. He's got plenty of weapons. and the defense is amazing.
And I'd
Right?
argue that even Miles Sanders is kind of an average running back.
He's good enough, right?
Good enough, though. Absolutely. You
Um,
run through the hole you're given.
and does Hurts have some accuracy issues? Yeah, but he also can make a ton of plays on his feet, and if things go south, he can roll out, and that's just annoying. And another thing a team has to game plan. So this is kind of going off the why I want to kind of bail on Mac is maybe this is just how football is, and you kind of need to go. Look, there are so many elite athletes and pass rushers in the league that it is not reliable to, trust your O-line 100% and not have a QB who can fend for himself.
And I think a good example of this is Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Not only can Mahomes do what Mac Jones does, but he and more, of course, he's far better.
Yes.
Let me change that.
Yeah.
Sorry. My bad.
Not only can Mahomes stay in the pocket, but
yeah.
let's adjust it because Mac
Thank
and
you.
Mahomes cannot be in the same sentence.
You're right. But he can roll out. Like the things I see Mahomes do on a weekly basis, rolling out of the pocket, is unbelievable. Every week he's doing something different, being creative outside of the pocket, like flicking the ball, like no look pass. Like what? How? Where can we find him?
I mean, I think you look at the elite quarterbacks, Mahomes, Allen, Herbert. I think Burrow's a bit of an exception.
Yeah, he's a pocket
but he's had to adjust and realize he needs to get that ball out sooner, right?
Yeah.
Lamar, we'll put Hurts in there, but they all can fend for themselves and roll out of the pocket and make a play by themselves. And I think that just might be how the NFL needs to work, because if you really want to look at it, Brady and Rodgers are struggling, and they aren't mobile quarterbacks. And now Brady, I'm giving a pass. Dude's 46. Like at some point, he's got to not be good, right?
He's bad. He looked really bad Sunday.
And look, he's 46. I'd hope he'd be bad at some point, right?
Nah, I wanted him to be good forever.
And guess what? I'd still trade Mac for him because,
give straight up.
No, I meant trade Mac and bring Brady back.
Okay,
just
not
a final
up.
send off.
Like,
no, I wouldn't do straight up. You got to give me a pick with it. You got to give me a pick with it.
But they're heckling that. They're like, "This is the GOAT. This is your GOAT. You're not even going to give us like anything back besides Mac."
I know they definitely would, but I don't know. I think it's those are just some of my thoughts, and clearly we need to, I think, see how next week goes. Just because this left a very sour taste.
Oh, I think horrible.
I think after the Buffalo game, honestly, these last few games, I was definitely Team Mac, being like, you need to let him throw, stuff like that. And now after this game, I'm like, Kenny.
So I hope they keep doing it then, though. Like
I do hope there's no point to not. There really is no point.
There's nothing more frustrating than watching this team play, and it's like first or second down, and they're throwing like the triple reverse screen to the tight end. And I'm like, why?
They are the worst team to watch in football, I think.
Oh my God, it's so bad. Unless we're passing it though. If we're passing it down the field, it's interesting because then it's like Mac, 1, 2, 3, balls out.
I would pay money to just delete the fake screen to another screenplay.
We do it all the time, John.
And it never works.
It works once a game. Once a game.
5 yards.
Yeah, okay.
Like, even when it works, it's not working like they think it should work.
They must be absolutely destroying their own defense in practice, because I've never seen a team run so many screens. Looks like we must have James White still, and I must not know, because that's what it looks like we're doing out here.
The other thing I want to say in defense is it's too late to change an offense. Like
you can once in a while. Don't do it.
But what I'm saying is you can blame them. Like, your offensive game plan you decided would work is terrible, and this is just gonna suck the rest of the year. It's kind of tough to be like, all right, new playbook. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'll tell you a playbook that would work better right now. Ramondre first down, Ramondre second down, pass on third down. If you did that the entire game, you would produce more points than we've produced thus far
which
this
is sad because I would hate to watch that too.
Well, I wouldn't. I love watching Ramondre. He's an animal.
Okay, but after the third, like say the third drive, you do that, they're gonna know, and
Okay,
then
well,
it's not gonna work.
I mean,
They
I'm
need to do more
obviously
play action.
listen. Wait. We haven't done any play action. What are we doing? I remember we were talking about this like week 3. We were
In
like, "Yo, love
the
the play action."
in the Arizona game, it was we
It's
do.
rare. We don't do
I
it.
think it was like we do play action 30th, and we're the third best at it. I think that was the stat. But that was before the Arizona game. I don't know how it's changed.
I
They
mean,
need to
it
do more
probably
of it.
didn't
But
for us because we didn't run a single play action play during that game. It was all pocket passing and running the ball, and we ran the ball perfectly. I'm also hesitant to be like, now I love the rookie running backs. Like I do think they're good. I think specifically Pierre Strong is going to be something special of the two because he just looks so fast.
shifty.
Yeah, he's just quick, which I like.
Kevin Harris just runs hard. I don't even feel like he's that good.
He looks like Damian Harris. Like it's a Harris. Like he's just
Yeah.
Damian Harris. But I think that maybe the Raiders were just suspect in the run game. And that's why like Ramondre had these ridiculous stats. And then even the rookie running backs were like getting ridiculous yards because it was like there is just that much space.
Well, they're also suspect in the pass game, but they looked elite at it. So
I mean, they weren't really, I didn't feel like they even did much though. It was just like inaccuracy from Mac and like
yeah,
stupid,
that's
stupid
fair.
decisions. Every time we're throwing like a pass to the sideline to a receiver, that needs to stop too. We need to stop throwing receiver screens. I don't know who they think we have. They must think we have Tyreek Hill. Like I don't understand. You know what I mean? Like Tyreek Hill, I would be like, I'd do that. I would do it at least twice a game.
Yeah.
But in this offense, they're like, dude,
They don't
give
even choose to do it to Thornton. Like,
give Jacoby the ball behind the line of scrimmage and let him run. Yeah, that's a great play. Great job, Patricia. Are you kidding me?
yo, the Jakob Johnson revenge game went crazy. That's all I'm saying.
Was he out there? I didn't even notice.
He had a 15-yard kick return, apparently.
Did he?
Yeah. No, it was a joke, but
I really wanted to beat McDaniel. I cannot believe that we didn't crush that team. Like it felt like we should have absolutely mollywopped that team.
dude, I was so tempted to drink yesterday. Like I was dude,
Make this pain go away.
I was not in a good place. That was tough. Um, but now I get to see them play the Bengals Saturday, and I can't say I'm excited for it because they haven't given me any. Two guys have given me excitement this year. Let's be honest. Three,
You know,
four.
there's plenty of people in the defense actually.
Judon, Uche, Duggar, and Stevenson.
You're just gonna forget.
Oh,
Jack.
Jack
Oh,
Jones, Jack Jones,
Marcus
Jack
Jones.
Jones.
God,
The
Marcus
more,
Jones has been more
yeah,
exciting.
you know what? I guess so.
Marcus Jones has been very entertaining lately.
That's fair. So 6.
He was covering Devontae Adams and looked like Richard Sherman.
Yeah, and then we put him in the prevent, and Keelan Cole just
Why?
tore.
Why did we? God, that game, I cannot
Dude,
believe it.
we can't talk anymore. We could go on and on, but the fact is, it was a terrible game. It was a terrible ending. The Patriots have given me a terrible year of football. Just straight up, it sucked, and I hate it.
Well, it was good for a while. Like the Zappy thing was fun for a bit.
No, it wasn't.
It totally ruined Mac, but like
Okay, you know
that's the
me.
other thing.
You know me. It was not fun. I
I
was
mean,
because I just knew like what this meant in the future, and it was gonna bite our ass, and it did.
that absolutely did. I said that too. I think that was exactly what I said. I think I said it was going to bite us.
Oh,
in
we
the
knew. We major boys crack.
It was because it was the first week where we won, and then everybody was like, "Wow, Zappy looks really good," and I was just like, "Oh no."
We knew it was a problem, and
It's a Pats thing. They see a quarterback and they're like,
yeah, they see a white quarterback as a backup come in the game, and they go, "Yo, it's
"Oh,
like Brady for
he's like
real." Like, shut up. Literally go
It's like
home and
Brady.
never root for this team. Like, I can't.
I honestly, I'm on to next. I'm on to Cincinnati, but like in next year's schedule.
Yeah, no, I'm on to the off season, truthfully. I'm brainstorming what to do because this is the worst place to be in, truthfully, is you're mediocre and there's no way for you to be above mediocre or that much above mediocre, right?
Yeah.
So really the only ways to get worse, and it's are they going to pull the trigger to get worse?
I
So
mean, I
is
just
it
don't.
going to suck slow or fast, right? Is it going to suck for a while because we choose to be mediocre for a long time? Or is it going to be quick and we're going to go, okay, we need to blow it up, 2-year rebuild. Hopefully we have another competitive
There's
team.
no way they rebuild. Like, what is there to rebuild?
I shouldn't say rebuild, restructure maybe.
But and then a restructure is totally what we're doing this offseason. Like, I'm
I'm
game for that.
talking like we need new QB,
I
that kind
mean,
of thing.
that might be a little difficult this year. I'm going to be honest.
Just draft one.
Ju-
Trade Mac, draft
Just
one.
draft one.
Yeah.
Who would you? All right. Now we're getting
I haven't done research on the QBs, so I'm not gonna sit here
because there's a
and
lot of
act
good
like
ones.
there's a guy.
People are saying there's a lot of good
Why not
QBs.
the Florida guy who can run?
Do you really think? Listen, Bill had Cam Newton and was like, "Wow, running the quarterback. This is fun."
Well, it's just, and this is why I'm saying I don't think Bill can coach in this generation because I think it's changing now. And honestly, maybe we just need a mobile quarterback. I'm not saying he has to run for 100 yards, but scramble outside the pocket, maybe.
Can the guy throw? Can he? Can he
I
throw like
mean,
Mac? Because
oh,
Max
well, he
throwing.
can throw like Mac. I think a lot of guys can throw
I was
like
gonna
Mac,
say
dude.
Max throwing's not very impressive.
He
So like,
has better arm strength, I believe. I don't know about
is
accuracy.
he like this Josh Allen prospect that I've been seeing? I know there's like a Josh Allen-esque prospect.
I think he has like the no, the Josh Allen was Will Levis because his arm strength is crazy.
That's what it was. But raw as hell. Cannot read it.
Richardson has the most potential, very raw, kind of similar to Lamar, I feel like.
All right, say we're literally the 16th pick of the draft because that's where we are basically are right now, 7-7.
Mm-hmm.
We would trade a first round pick and Mac for something in the
Down.
top 10, like
Sure.
late top 10 though, like 6 through 10.
So this quarterback that I'm talking about is projected at 15.
I mean, if he's going at 15, I mean, I don't know
If he's going at
he would have to
15,
fall.
I think it's fair.
No
No, he
way,
probably QBs
no
always
way
go
we
up.
no way we go up though, is what I'm saying. Like no way
Yeah,
we're going up to get him. Because we
correct.
even waited for Mac. Like we're waiting for Mac Jones. There's no way we're waiting.
CJ Stroud's also falling. I don't know what you think about him
I mean, I'm a CJ Stroud fan. I'm a fan.
because he was being talked about as 1 or 2, and now he's at 8 in the latest mock draft.
Well, like what do you do if one of those quarterbacks falls to you and you're like, oh, we like this guy, but
I
now we're
take
not
him.
trading Mac. You're just gonna let Mac and CJ Shroud and uh
Why wouldn't you trade him?
well, I'm saying he falls to you though. Like you're saying he's gonna go at 15. Like we're gonna be around that pick. If he
If
comes to like say he falls all the way to us, we just get him.
yeah,
Then we have Mac, CJ Shroud, and Zappy.
so you trade Mac.
Get another first rounder, like you just take back end of the third or the first round, like
I
30th pick.
mean, because
I don't know.
realistically, Mac's going into his 3rd year, and I feel like he's a rookie. So why not get another rookie?
Honestly, I'd call the 49ers or I'd keep them on. I don't have a problem with keeping those three quarterbacks. Is Brian Hoyer on the team still? No, right?
He's going to be done. I think
He's gone.
he is.
Is
He's
he on the
IR'd.
team?
He's IR'd.
No,
But
he's a joke.
all right, we're getting too far into the future here.
Yeah, we can talk about this off air.
Yeah, but all right, thank you everyone for listening. We'll be back next week. I can't imagine a better result.
We're getting a W in Cincinnati.
Shut up.
Mhm.
I'm about to watch a blowout in the freezing cold on Christmas Eve, and I can wait.
You think the Louisiana boys are gonna do well in the cold?
I think Joe Burrow's gonna make me cry. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Might go on.
All right, we're calling it. Thank you everyone for listening. Tune in next week.